Oh, shoot. I forgot to... Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this with such terrible connection, man. It's really frustrating. It's probably just frustrating for you also, my God. All right, so let me reshare my screen. Where did I make it up to? Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Yeah, I just called the Wi-Fi guy and it just kind of like blasted him. Because it's been all the time now. This connection is really bad. Okay, so I'm just going to read from this point. So Nityananda Prabhu, he came there with all of his associates to Ramachandra Khan's house, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu's large party filled up the entire courtyard. As a host, Ramachandra Khan should have personally come out to welcome him. He should have been filled with gratitude at his immense good fortune that his house was sanctified by the touch of Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. But instead, he sent one of his servants to meet Nityananda Prabhu, thereby insulting him and his exalted followers. In a curt message to the Lord, the servant informed him that since he was with a large group that could not be properly accommodated, arrangements had been made for all of them to go elsewhere. And more specifically, he told them to go to the cowshed. And then Nityananda Prabhu laughed and said, yes, the cowshed is a much better place. Anyways, let's see. What followed is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Nityananda Prabhu heard this order from Ramachandra Khan's servants, he became very angry and came out of the mandap laughing madly and said, Ramachandra Khan is right. This place is unfit for me. It is only fit for cow-killing meat-eaters. Nityananda Prabhu stormed out of Khan's house. Khan was so demoniac that he ordered his servants to dig up the earth where the Lord had sat, and he had it filled up again after it had been cleansed with water and cow dung. Even the courtyard where the Lord's followers were sitting was cleansed. However, it was not long before the consequences of offending the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas took effect. It so happened that Khan had been cheating the local magistrate by tax evasion. Enraged by Khan's dishonesty, the magistrate stormed into his house one day and sat on the Durga Mandap. He ordered that a cow be slaughtered and that its flesh be cooked on the spot. For 3 days, Khan's family was bound and held captive. His household and the entire village was pillaged by the magistrate's men. On the 4th day, the magistrate and his men left the village, its properties destroyed, and everyone shocked in agony. Khan was completely ruined and forsaken. Kaviraj Gosvāmī writes, wherever an advanced devotee is disrespected, for the fault of one man, everyone in connection with him will suffer. This is really important points. So we don't want to have anything to do with an aparadhi. It's still working, right? Okay. Yes. In spite of hearing about or even experiencing the fatal consequences of offending the Supreme Lord or his devotees, we are so deluded that we still need to be reminded not to commit offenses. After leaving Benapol, Haridāsa went to Chandapur. According to Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Chandapur lay north of Saptagram at the Triveni, and it was the home of Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar, Raghunath Das Goswami's family. Chandapur was also the residence of Balaram and Yadunāmācārya, family priest of the Majumdars of Saptagram. They put the long A in the wrong spot. Should be there, Balaram. Anyways, it is here that Haridāsa lived in Balaram Acharya's house, and where Balaram Acharya was favored by Haridāsa's grace. Balaram Acharya was a very devout Brahmin and a great devotee. He offered all hospitality to Haridāsa, while Haridāsa spent his time chanting 300,000 holy names in a hut. Raghunath Das Goswami, the son of Sri Govardhan Majumdar, was a schoolboy. He regularly visited and associated with Haridāsa, who showed his blessings upon him. Later, as the ultimate act of mercy, he brought Raghunath Das to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das Goswami is a Nitya Siddha, or an eternal confidant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who descended into this world as a part of Mahaprabhu's entourage. His associating with Haridāsa exemplifies that bhakti is only attainable by the mercy of an exalted devotee of the Lord. One day, Balaram Acharya, after begging Haridāsa to attend a religious assembly at the Majumdar residence, got his wish. Both the brothers, Hiranya and Govardhan, received him with respect. The assembly was attended by many pundits and respectable gentry. Everyone in the assembly generously expressed their appreciation of Haridāsa. They praised Haridāsa for his vow to chant the holy name. Someone in the assembly said that the chanting of the holy name absolves all sins. Another observed that the holy name bestows liberation. Hearing people speaking of only the external effects of Krishna Nam, Haridāsa pointed out that these were not the principal results of pure Nam. What you say is not the true result of Krishna Nam. The real effect is that ecstatic love of Krishna awakens. Even the Lord loves his own name. As one continues his vow to chant, the Lord becomes more dear to him, and so does his holy name. With increased enthusiasm, he becomes deeply attached to Krishna, and he loves the name of Krishna so much that he sometimes cries in separation, or even exhibits loving anger. Sometimes the ecstasy is so intense that he chants the name of Krishna and dances like a complete madman, not caring for anyone or anything. Evam vrata sapriya nama kirtya jatanuraga druta chitta uchai hasatatoro ditirot gayati unmadavan rityati lokabahya. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.240. This was the translation of that verse. Vishwanath Chakrabarti says that Evam Vrata means that the vow to chant Krishna Nam, regardless of circumstances, gives Prem Bhakti Yoga, union and devotional love. The person who upholds such a vow is beyond any of the concerns of this world. He states further that among the 9 limbs of devotion, Nam Kirtan, or chanting the holy names, is the highest. Sapriya Nama Kirtya. Krishna's name is very dear to Krishna. This Sanskrit phrase refers to any person who, through chanting Krishna's name, has fallen in love with him. At this stage, the heart has become like gold due to the heat from the fire of yearning to see Krishna. I'm checking more frequently now, because so many times. Just as in Vraj Leela, Krishna, the butter thief, slips into a gopi's house early in the morning, and Jadati, an older gopi sitting near the door, warns the other gopis that Yashoda's son has snuck into the storeroom. She cries, "Catch him! Catch him!" The devotees in deep meditation on Krishna's pastimes laugh in joy at the thought of Krishna running away to escape. The next moment, when the devotee awakens from his vision, he laments, "Oh no, the unlimited ocean of bliss was within reach, and now I have lost him." He cries pathetically in separation from Krishna. He screams, "Where are you? Talk to me." When Krishna hears such a devotee's plea, he reassures them, Here I am. I came running to you as soon as I heard you call." Then the vision is regained, and the devotee resumes praising the Lord. Dancing madly, he shouts, "I am so happy. Today my life is perfect." At this stage, the devotee couldn't care less about praise or criticism. The condition has been described. Drunk on the wine of ras, we become like madmen, rolling on the ground and sometimes dancing wildly. People may think that we are crazy, But who cares? The awakening of Krishna Prem is the natural and direct result of Krishna Nam, not the destruction of sin or achieving liberation. Those are just secondary effects. That just happens automatically. That's like a side effect. Haridāsa cited... Who's calling me? Can't answer this now. Sorry. The result... Haridāsa cited the example of a sunrise. The result of sunrise is light. The dissipation of darkness is secondary. He quoted a verse from the Nāmācārya of Sri Gosvāmī and asked the scholars to explain it. But they preferred to have Haridāsa enlighten them. Haridāsa said, "Just before sunrise, before the sun is even visible, it eliminates the darkness of night. With the first glimpse of sunlight, all fears vanish. And when the sun is actually visible, everything is revealed and a new day begins. Similarly, with the first hint of Krishna Nam, the reactions of sinful life are instantly terminated. And when one chants the holy name offenselessly, ecstatic love of Krishna is awakened. Although it is offered by Krishna readily, liberation is nothing to a pure devotee." Is it still there? Okay. And when one chants the holy name offenselessly, ecstatic love of Krishna is awakened. Although it is offered by Krishna I already read this. Although it is offered by Krishna readily, liberation is nothing to a pure devotee. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated, "While dying, Ajamil unintentionally chanted the holy name of the Lord by calling for his son Narayan, and he entered the spiritual world. What then can be said of those who chant the holy name with deep faith?" Krishna says, "My real devotees want nothing from me. They don't want to live where I live, or have the same wealth I have, nor have a body like mine. They just want to serve me." The verse for that, what is it? I'm trying to remember. Shashti Samitya Sarubhya something. Diya manam nagrinanti vina matsevanam jana. Diya manam nagrinanti vina matsevanam jana. That's a famous verse. One of the Brahmins present was Gopal Chakravarti. He was the chief tax collector and an official messenger of the Muslim ruler. He couldn't stand Haridāsa's explanation that even a shadow of the holy name could give liberation. He spoke angrily. "You are all supposed to be pundits, and you sit here listening to this fool rave about Krishna Nam? Do you really believe that after millions of births, one who is in complete, absolute knowledge will still not attain liberation, but a devotee will get it by a mere touch of the holy name?" Haridāsa replied, "Why do you doubt it? The scriptures say that one can become liberated simply at the first semblance of offenseless chanting. My dear Lord, you are so beautiful that I feel like I am drowning in an ocean of nectar just looking at you. Whatever other concepts I had of happiness are now like puddles of mud." Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 139 to 199. The Brahmin said, "If you are lying, I will cut your nose off." Haridāsa replied, "If I'm lying, then I'll cut my nose off." Everyone was shocked. The Majumdars were outraged, and they began to chastise Gopal Chakravarti. Balaram Acharya reprimanded. "You are just caught up in absurd rhetoric. What do you know about the process of devotion? And you have the audacity to insult Haridāsa Ṭhākura? You are committing spiritual suicide." Gopal Chakravarti exposed himself as an offender to the holy name. He did not have faith that the holy name is omnipotent and supermundane. When he left the assembly, everyone fell at Haridāsa's feet begging for forgiveness. But Haridāsa never saw the faults of others, and he smiled compassionately, saying, "None of you are at fault. Even this ignorant Brahmin is not at fault. He's not at fault because he is accustomed to dry speculation and logic. One cannot understand the glories of the holy name simply by logic and argument. Therefore, that man cannot possibly fathom the glories of the holy name. Do not be sorry because I was insulted. Return to your homes and may Krishna bless you. The reactions for committing aparad did not take long to manifest. Within 3 days, the Brahmin was infected with leprosy, and as a result, his nose melted and fell off. His toes, limbs, and fingers, which were as delicate as flower buds, withered into stumps. The people were astonished to see this phenomena, and they were in awe of Haridāsa's spiritual potency and offered obeisances to him. Although Haridāsa did not take the Brahmin's offense seriously, the Supreme Personality of Godhead did, and the Brahmin suffered the consequences. A characteristic of a pure devotee is that he excuses the offenses of the ignorant. But Krishna never tolerates an offense to the lotus feet of his devotee. When Haridāsa learned about Gopal contracting, right? When Haridāsa learned about Gopal contracting leprosy, he was deeply sorrowful. He left Balaram Acharya's house and traveled to Sri Advaita's home in Shantipur. Haridāsa prostrated himself before the Acharya, and Advaita picked him up and embraced him lovingly. Sri Advaita built a hut for Haridāsa on the bank of the Ganga and arranged for him to conduct his meditation and worship there. So connected. Okay. Haridāsa continued his daily routine of Krishna Nam, honoring prasadam at Advaita's home and hearing Krishna Katha. Together, they drowned in an ocean of bliss, discussing Krishna and Mahaprabhu. I like that it ended on a happy note. All right. Wow, we actually made it to the end. Thank you so much for tolerating this crazy internet problem of mine. All right, so we can end with a little Mahamantra. Isn't that crazy though? I read more than half of the article, much more than half of that, well, I don't know, yeah, but more than half of the article 3 times. And you all just patiently sat there and okay. Yeah, normally I wanted to do a different kirtan every day at the end. Like, you guys can tell me what kirtan to sing and I would sing it. Like any bhajan. But today, because of all the internet problems and now it's 9:15, I'm just going to sing a quick Mahamantra. All right, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Haridāsa, Ṭhākura Haridāsa, Haridāsa, Ṭhākura Haridāsa, Jaya Haridāsa, Ṭhākura Haridāsa, Haridāsa, Ṭhākura Hari. Jaya Hari Nama, Jaya Krishna Nama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtatarashatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai, Nitilapa Vishnu Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai, Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Nāmācārya Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Nāmācārya Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura ki jai, Shri Harinam Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Jhanu Saptami ki Titi ki jai, Shri Jhanu Rishi ki jai, Shri Janavi Ganga Devi ki jai, Bhagirati Ganga ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams. Haribo. That's Pradyumna Prabhu saying, it's now 11:40 p.m. Wow. 11:40. Oh, a.m. That's whatever. Okay. All right. Haribo. Jai Shri Radhe. Thank you so much for joining me, even while the internet kept on cutting out again and again and again and again. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I complained. The Wi-Fi guy said that he's going to come here tomorrow and see what the problem is. All right. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribo. Oh, wait, and Pradyumna Prabhu is asking a question here. What is it? As Gurudev's disciples, do we chant more than 16 rounds? Yes, we should. Gurudev always encouraged all of us to chant more than 16 rounds. At least 32. Oh, God, what did Gurudev say? I forgot. My Gurudev said some really intense things, though. Like, if you can't, you should chant 64, but if you can't do that, then at least 48. And if not that, then at least the bare minimum you should do 32. And if you can't do that, then like, okay, 24. If you can't even do 24, then you might as well just give up your life. I think he said something like that. I should find the exact quote. But yeah, my Gurudev always encouraged everybody to chant more than 16 rounds. Śrīla Prabhupada also. Śrīla Prabhupada, when he first came to America, I heard that he asked them all to chant. He did the same, like he asked everybody to chant 64 rounds, and they tried, but they said, Prabhupada, it's too difficult. And then he kept on bringing it down until finally he brought it down to 16. And he's like, okay, I'm not going below 16. And so, yeah, 16 is just the bare minimum. We should always chant more, though. Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu says that I only eat in the home of lakpatis. And when Mahaprabhu said this, lakpati means millionaires. And those people who have like 100,000 gold coins. Lak means 100,000. And so somebody who possesses like 100,000 gold coins, millionaire. And so when he said this, that I'm only going to eat in the home of lakpatis, everybody became completely distraught. Like, we don't have any money. And then he revealed to them that the meaning of lakpati is somebody who chants 100,000 names. So Mahaprabhu only eats in the home of somebody who chants 64 rounds. It's 100,000 names. And that's why in the Math, I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but it used to be, I remember, the pujari didn't have to do any other seva. Because only the pujari seva. But if nobody would ask the pujari to do anything else, because the pujari needed a time to be able to chant 64 rounds so that he could do his puja properly and that Mahaprabhu would accept his worship. Like Mahaprabhu said that. So, anyhow. But even if we're not able to chant 64 rounds and, Mahaprabhu's, we still have our Gurudev, so we can still do puja and stuff, and we pray to Gurudev. Please, I'm not qualified to be able to worship the Lord, but we're just an instrument of Gurudev, and Gurudev's the one worshipping Ṭhākurji. That's what our mood should be. So, but still, we should all try to increase our chanting, not just 16, but more. All right, Haribo.